I'll help you out with the also releasing this week right now, real quick.
Yeah, 75 tops throw highlights is still valid for another.
Sorry about the delay, guys. Welcome. Good evening. If you're watching live, welcome to episode 177 about the Cards podcast live tonight on YouTube. This is why I usually don't do the intro. As always, I'm your host, Stefan Loeffler, Chunkwax Twins. I'm sure most of you have heard the news about Ben. Unfortunately, he will not be joining us tonight. Updates to come. We wish him well. Hopefully, he rebounds medically, mentally, and all of the above. Podcast by collectors for collectors. Hope to bring you a smart and insightful podcast discussing trading card collecting. All cards tell a story. What do your cards tell? We're live every Wednesday at 10 Central, 8 p.m. Pacific. I always wanted to say that. On YouTube. Of course, follow us Twitter, Instagram, about the cards. Available as a podcast everywhere you can find one. It should be going live tomorrow, sometime in the afternoon. Check out our website at aboutthecards.wordpress.com. And yeah, I guess we'll drop into it. On last Friday, Korean Cardboard hosted me for an interview. Talked to her for about an hour. Had a lovely conversation about games, life, video games. So check that out if you guys get a chance. Per Ben, he wanted to pass along that he does have a published book available on Amazon. The show podcast will be retweeting and sharing that out as well. Trying to add more members to our About the Card Facebook groups. If you're interested in joining, shoot us a message, and we can provide some links. So, with that said, tonight we have guests Jeffrey Szelzki.
Howdy.
Howdy, he says. James Kutkowski, Philly Puck fan.
Hello.
And Andrew at Bayside Breakers.
How's it going?
They all say hi. And of course, me and my cat somewhere back there, because can't do anything without a cat being present here. Live. Do it now. But with that said, Jeffrey, how's it been since the last time we talked to you? I mean, I talked to you earlier today, but since the last time you were on the podcast, how's it been going?
Good. Been obviously busy with work and trying to decrease my footprint with my Magic collection, and just enjoying, I guess, expos and sports card shows coming back in Canada, as the US has been kind of incremental on that, and Canada has been slow to follow. So now we're catching up, and it's good. It's good times.
Yeah, no, and speak of the Toronto Expo, so you went to that last week. What's your thoughts, impressions? How'd it go?
I mentioned it. I tweeted it out last night. My thoughts. Overall, not overly positive. Like, I was at the National, as some of you were aware. The National, like 10 times the Expo. Nothing negative to say about the Expo per se, but I just felt it pretty weak to being like the main attraction or the main event of this year within like the Canadian region. And so much stuff was just overpriced, whether it be singles or sealed. And there's just so many new companies, which is fine. But at the same time, it's mostly relating to the hype in the industry. And all the older collectors, the younger collectors, they're being taken advantage of, unfortunately, when that comes to push to shove. And if it weren't for the evening drinks and food with friends and people I met, it would have been a complete bust. But thankfully, Sunday night was just mind blowing. Oh, sorry, Saturday night was just like mind blowing. We went to a bar downtown Toronto, owned by an ex NHL player, and it was just bananas. Just the stories, typical NHL players who have incredible stories, and they have proof, and they have validity behind it. It's good times. But overall, it's an expo, I guess. I look forward to like the national next year, and hopefully for the spring expo, they'll kind of learn on their mistakes.
Well, which player, which bar?
This is called The Bottom Line, and it is owned by Wayne Cowley. He played goaltender for a few teams, from what I understand. And there's also an ex-European player named Kerry Goulet, and he had incredible stories. Like the stories he was speaking on were insane. And that's, from what I understand, it's like the main go-to bar for athletes downtown. Obviously, it's so close to like the Rogers Center. So I was talking to a Toronto Argonaut player, and then there's also an ex-female U.S. goaltender there. It was literally like the things, the stories I heard. The people were incredible, and just the location was great, and the times were great. But the stories, I can't stress enough that like these typical players usually have incredible stories, even though they haven't had like an extended NHL career. The stories they have from their past is just like so surreal.
Sorry, had to deal with the troll in chat. Now for us Americans, you said the Argonaut. What
Toronto Argonauts, the CFL team.
The CFL? What's that?
Canadian Football League. But
it's the thing they play in Canada. It's kind of like football, but not.
Yeah, like I'm okay with it. Like obviously, I don't watch it as much, but it's kind of like Philly Puck fan was saying, the Canadian version of NFL with a few differences. But like he was big, and like I'm 6'5", 300 pounds, and him and his friends were just like, "You're massive," and like nobody like, yeah, sure, whatever. But like these guys were jacked, like completely jacked, and I was the one that was like massive. And like he was 37. He was 37, and like it's his first year in the CFL, and obviously at 37, your time's coming. And I was quite surprised with like his confidence, just his willingness to play, his willingness to kind of pick up and leave with regards to his life, because obviously CFL doesn't pay the greatest. But he was offensive line, and cool guy, and yeah, it's just a great time overall.
Oh, that's cool. Now, what's your thoughts on the Upper Deck NHL PA/PA agreement?
So I'm happy about it. Obviously,
Sure.
I was kind of concerned initially for Fanatics for obvious reasons. That being said, it doesn't really decrease my worriness in the sense of like Fanatics now can easily just purchase everything involved rather than purchasing Upper Deck and then going after a license and vice versa. So I'm okay with it. But then like what's next kind of thing, from what I've heard from is it Jason from the other podcasts that I've listened to, NFT is going to be a big thing. I'm not a fan of NFTs. I don't think Upper Deck should move into them, but of course they're business, they want to profit, and I'm sure they're doing well now, so why not? But we'll see if they can back up this year and last year with growth going forward.
That's fair. Anyone else have a thought? NHLPA extension.
I'm pretty sure Upper Deck's publicly held, so a hostile takeover is probably not possible. But I suppose if Fanatics rolled up to Sea Otter Place with a Brinks truck full of money and kept bringing them, eventually they'd sell. And in my mind, the smartest thing they could do, because Topps and Panini don't have great relationships with their customers. Upper Deck does. The smartest thing that, from the outside looking in, I'm sure they've got much smarter people than me at Fanatics in this area, but I would be, if I were them, I'd be consider, hey, let's buy Upper Deck and have them handle the production of all this stuff out of the California and North Carolina offices, and see what we can do about buying or licensing Panini and Topps' IP. That would be so. I don't think that just because there's a deal with them in the NHLPA doesn't mean that Fanatics still can't get their way in there somewhere.
That's true.
And Jason did mention that like multiple times, because I'm sure it's a common question, in that they are private, like Philly Puck fans said. At the same time, money talks, regardless, right? Like Upper Deck has had a good run. I from what I understand, it's like a family-owned business, and I'm sure whoever owns equity are probably mid-30s to like mid-50s. Obviously, I doubt any younger kids own equity within their family, but money talks, and Fanatics has tons of it, so why not?
That's interesting. Andrew, anything over there?
I mean, I'm always just nervous whenever something changes. I'm an old guy at heart who doesn't really like change, but
sure.
One of the things that always makes me nervous is, you can talk about the health of the hobby and everything right now. And I think one of the reasons the hobby is so healthy right now is that there are a multitude of ways to profit from it, whether it's, buying and selling cards, getting them graded, all that stuff. And my biggest concern is that Fanatics is seeing that, and they're going to come in and they're going to try and take all of those avenues of profit for themselves. And while that in the short term, that may help them, you're gonna, potentially you'll see, people leave if they can't make money. Obviously, some of us will still be here regardless. We'll still collect, but I think part of the, everybody can get a piece of the pie, for lack of a better term. And if one person tries to take it all, then everybody, that's my biggest concern. I'm hoping they don't do that, but I fear if they do that, then I think you will see a bunch of people decide to leave as well, for better or worse by that token too. It's not necessarily going to be a bad thing if some of these people do leave, but
sure. I mean, I think we all have our favorites and lack thereof of certain companies, but I'm certainly interested to see Upper Deck's next new lineup, as well as what Topps and Panini do if they get bought out, where they go from there.
It's interesting to see. I don't know if we're going to talk about this, but I think I did see recently that Panini announced that they extended their exclusive license with the Premier League in
interesting
in soccer, and I think that may be a sticking point with Panini. You'll see is, they hold exclusive licenses to a bunch of these European soccer leagues, and they actually have a huge European and Asian soccer both market, and they've been doing for a few years now exclusive European and Asian parallels that you cannot get over here in the States. So to me, I think of the two, I think Panini is more suited to, obviously losing basketball and football will hurt, but I think their soccer portfolio is much, much more expansive than I think at least we over here in the US recognize.
Well, and that's true too. That the Panini brand, at least, is much more internationally known, between the sticker sets that they produce, between the World Cup, between the Euro leagues. I mean, it's kind of a cluster. I thought Bowman Draft and Bowman Chrome and Bowman whatnots were confusing, but it's trying to understand which company has UEFA, which company has this league, that league, is just as confusing, if not more.
Panini's been doing this forever. Like, even when I was a kid, all of us probably remember hearing "stick with Panini" when we were kids. So every 4 years, they can just, for the World Cup, just print out these stickers and mint money. So I'm with Andrew on this one. Panini's probably going to be around in some form.
Well, I think also too lost in that is there's talk of the World Cup now going to every 2 years on top of it all. Not to mention Panini has the UEFA Euro license. So I mean the World Cup is every 4 years. There's more and more soccer tournaments that are coming around every year, and it's just another avenue for each of these card companies to scoop up another license, and soccer cards are definitely getting bigger in that regard. So I think that may save one or both of these companies, at least internationally.
Yeah, piggybacking on that, similar to hockey, I'd be more concerned that Fanatics, like obviously Upper Deck has the NHL license, but I'd be more concerned that Fanatics would go after like the CHL. And if you look at like the prospect pool for this year, like the Czech League, the USHL, like all these overseas leagues these days are becoming more and more prominent. Like nobody's touching those. So Fanatics just like whenever the CHL license expires, if Fanatics, like everything goes through these leagues to the NHL, right? Mm-hmm. Is Connor McDavid Young Gun that good? If he had a pre-rookie card, like it would be interesting to see the dynamics if all these other leagues were taken by another company, whoever it may be, regardless of being Fanatics or not, and see the intrigueness of like other players overseas getting cards before Upper Deck did on the NHL level.
I mean, I would argue to throw parallels. And no offense to Andrew and his family and his former business associates, but I would say that I'd want a Topps card before I wanted the TCMA minor league card.
Yeah, I mean, there's also too. I mean, look at how Panini does right now. I bought Stars and Stripes. Some of those kids are 14 years old. Don't tell me that card is going to be more valuable than their rookie card when it comes out at the end of the day. I know it's their first card from when they were 14, but at the end of the day, the true rookie card is generally going to be your most valuable card. I understand the first Bowman cards are kind of the exception to the rule.
Sure.
I would say that they're the one oddball. But in general, it's still the rookie card. It's not necessarily the first printed card, and especially with these NILs in the college game that you're going to see. I think you're going to find that at the end of the day, you can have NIL guys in their college or pre-college days playing, but I think because of the lore of the rookie card, I think the rookie card is still going to be, 99% of the time the king card to have.
Oh, of course. It'd just be interesting to see like McDavid having like 3 cards, like for instance, 3 cards in the OHL prior to even being like released in the NHL kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, and that's actually something that I wanted to bring up. 2 was with you mentioning the NIL name, image, license. We tried a box of 2021 wild card. I think they called it Matt. Decent looking cards, pretty good card stock. A little extremely white. I'll show one off, for example, here. Cade Johnson, wide receiver. I think they could have done a little bit better job of spacing the bottom text so it's not immediately directly on the bottom. However, and my bigger complaint, so there were 4 packs, 10, 12 cards each, like 2 inserts a pack. These things were wrapped like they were a Pop-Tart, like 1990 Upper Deck type foil. So be it. But here's a portion of it, and here's the rest. Stop me when you notice it. Over 60% of it were duplicate players with no discernible differences.
Was there, I mean, I don't know how deep the checklist was. Was there only like 10 players on the checklist, or?
I mean, I have all the way up to card number 70. So I would assume, presumably at least 70, probably 100 card set. But then also on my inserts, duplicates there, there.
That's a shame. Those actually look pretty nice.
They tried to make a throwback version. Which direction are we going there? On the back with the forget exactly what they called this parallel. Nice effects, kind of cool looking. But they are strictly through a IPL. It was like some premier athlete run organization that essentially signs directly to the players, and then they offer them to individual producers like this, or presumably eventually maybe even leave, so that they have a huge pool of players that aren't yet signed or that have just left college. It's an interesting idea. Group together and try to pitch yourselves.
Were there any big names in the set or no?
There actually were. Looking it over, there was Trevor Lawrence, Travis Etienne, Trey Lance, Zach Wilson, Kyle Trask, Kyle Pitts. Some pretty big names. Najee Harris, Devonta Smith. Essentially everyone you saw in Panini Draft, just in nondescript Very Leaf or Panini Baseball mocked out jerseys. Interesting. My other complaint too was that's impossible to focus on. The cards are slightly cut at different lengths, so there's some printer quality issues. I don't know. It's a single blaster. Can't hurt to try something new. But on that, Jeffrey, with Sport Lots announcing that they are rolling out Magic, and I guess really even James, you can chime in on this. What's your thoughts on Sport Lots rolling out a Magic section?
I literally can't take Sports Lots seriously until they get a modernized website. That is all. Like,
Sure.
Cool. They have a cool functionality. They have a cool concept, but like, oh my goodness, it looks like my grandmother's like website, I swear.
From 1996.
Exactly. Thank you. But no, I won't take it seriously. Obviously, like other companies are doing Magic as well. They're just looking to add on more inventory. It really doesn't hurt them, right? It's really nothing. They don't own any of the actual assets. They just own like the website, so it's nothing special. But
I hope they keep it as janky as it is, because it'll keep people like from Jeff out of there, so that vultures like me can go in. Because I know that there are going to be people who have had these things sitting in their house forever that don't know what to price them at. And like ComC, like I'm doing on ComC, I'm just going to be sniping these up for pennies on the dollar. So by all means, make sure it stays looking like GeoCities. That's perfectly fine with me. And tell me you could look at that site and tell me I'm wrong, that doesn't look like it was built on GeoCities.
Yeah, no.
But anywhere that they can that gaming can get expanded, because we've seen even with the sports card boom, we saw the Pokemon boom, and everything followed it. Seeing grown men waiting for them to deliver the Pokemon cards at Meijer is surreal, and not in a good way. But it's just another avenue for collectors to buy, sell, trade Magic cards or collectible card games. And with how expensive and intrusive as eBay seems to be getting, sure, go for it.
it's interesting though. I don't know if you realized, but like there's obviously a large marketplace as TCG player. They deal a lot with Magic the Gathering, and only recently another large entity within the US, China Fireball, created their own marketplace to compete against TCG player, and then little Sports Thought comes through and wants to kind of like butt in there. So like there's a lot of marketplaces to sell Magic cards. So it's more or less like what percentage or you want to lose at the end of the day, and how mainstream you want to go.
I'm just figuring that sports card sellers and buyers will occasionally get these non-sports in lots. Like I'll buy a large hockey card collection and one of the boxes will have basketball in it. And I'm like, well, I don't know anything about basketball. I imagine that if I wasn't trying to get Magic cards, I'd accidentally get Magic cards along the way. because it has happened. And so these are sitting around and, oh, look, I can list this on Sports Lots now.
No, that's fair. That's
We'll
totally
see.
fair.
Oh boy. Sorry, had to step away for a split second. Any idea what this will end up looking like? Is it just going to be a lower end, or are you going to be able to find some diamonds in the rough like James is hoping?
I won't even speak on that because, again, you see nothing. Like, I can't even, like, I look on ComC, I'm like, what a beautiful site. Then I go to SportsLot, and, like, I just literally lose my mind looking at the website. I can't even see pictures. I can't be able to see anything. It's just like a monstrosity. So I would think it's probably lower end because, of course, if you want higher end, you probably want a photo. You probably want reach. You probably want people looking at it. But hey, what do I know?
Card Kingdom.
Well, I'm constantly hearing people talk about how they're scoring on making good deals on sport lots. So I think you're going to find good deals. You're going to find bad deals because there are some Magic cards that aren't going to be worth the 17-cent minimum on here either.
Sure.
But I think it's just going to be a hodgepodge. It's the same mistakes that happen on eBay and on ComC will probably happen here too. It's just a question of, like, ComC, for all of its faults, you can immediately search by newest thing entered into the inventory.
Right.
This is not built like that. This is going to be, okay, I'm going to be looking for the Homeland set. So first I'm going to have to scroll down to Magic Cards in 1995 and hope they've marked the year right. So you're going to have to work for it on this site, but I think there'll be deals to be had just like there is in sports.
And then you spend half an hour getting your Homeland set or your Homeland order through, and Grandpa Joe will cancel it.
Okay.
I just feel like there's so many cancellations. Like, without, like, obviously you can, and obviously there's not much, like, pushback in comparison to eBay and stuff, negative feedback, whatever. But, like, I just feel like if it's not a big enough order, it tends to get, like, canceled. If they just can't find it or whatever, maybe it gets canceled. Not a high percentage, but especially with, like, lower end stuff and, like, Magic cards. I don't know what big clientele you'd have with regarding, like, quantity.
I've never had a cancel an order on the system in the 10 years I've used the site. I've never had one canceled on me.
I've had
I've got a golden horseshoe somewhere, but I've never had it happen.
Well, and I think, like anything, it depends on who you're buying from. If you carefully curate who you're buying from, or if Jeff wants to set up shop tomorrow with the multiple 5,000 card boxes over his shoulder, listing individually, aside from his time, presuming Jeff is a decent and reliable person, he can have those out in the mail the next day. But I can certainly understand where certainly less organized people would take forever and a day to find the right thing, to send it out, to say that they don't have it, I mean, it's like any marketplace, just a little bit more less descriptive, less picture-based. I mean, I know Ben relies on the website a lot to get all of his individual cards, and those are fine. But for me, if at least what I'm chasing with more vintage stuff, I'm looking for condition as well as, is it the card that I need? And especially with the Magic the Gathering and Pokemon and a couple other TCG trading card games, that's certainly a concern as well. So I mean, with the majority of sellers seemingly shipping out in PWEs, is that a concern for somebody who wants to go to their Friday Night Magic?
I wouldn't say so. I think unless it's a higher end card, like anything like, let's say, like 10 plus per $10 plus, like, you're not really concerned.
Your issue is going to be mostly. Your issue is going to be if you're collecting a set. Your issue is going to be condition, because I have noticed on eBay that Magic card sellers don't know how to grade cards very well. So they'll call something near mint that's not, or they'll lightly played when it looks like my dog chewed it up. So it's a different it's like more comic book standards, but even by comic book standards, they stink at it. So yeah, that's going to be. Don't go on there expecting to get anything mint. Just this is cards I'm going to use for my deck.
Sure.
Yeah, but they're two different worlds. Like 90% of like sports card collectors expect PSA 10s. In Magic, you're not even getting close to PSA 10.
But it's not an 8, Jeff. You have to take it back. We have to go back. No, so presuming this gets rolled out, any chance you take a flyer on it over Card Kingdom or eBay or anybody else?
Not even close. Card Kingdom has been great to me. A few other stores have been great to me. It's easy. I can buy this stuff to them, whatever it may be. I can have friends over, but no, not even close. Like you said, it's just not worth it for me to list like low end stuff on there and ship through Canada Post, which would charge me $10.
Yeesh.
No, not that bad, but obviously I was being sarcastic. But Canada Post is not reliable.
No, we've certainly heard that from plenty of others. But I suppose we can get the fairly obvious out of the way too as well. We've got a Flyer fan, a dirty Penguins fan, a person I'm not talking to after last night. And I count myself as a Wild fan. So this is like the all hockey episode. Sorry, Ben. Also, I was put up to doing this. You can invest in cards. It is worth your time.
Be careful. I hope he's not listening right now.
Give him another
timestamp 3120. No. I was put up to that, but it is what it is. Anyway, do have two listener mail days to share, but both a little bit old, but both uniquely cool. So the first off was from Marco, of course, sharing a puzzle box, I believe, with different individualized cards from different eras on top of it. So you got like the Hank Aaron New Home Run King, you have the 81 Topps Yastrzemski, you have it's that George Burnett 68 Topps, you have a 71, you have some 72s in the background. So probably released in about 82 or say, give take. Fair estimate. I see like a 75 right here.
Probably. That is really cool. I've never seen that before.
Kind of dig it. I'd love to see what it looks like assembled, Mark. Hint. But Mark obviously naturally picking it up for this like 65, 35 Yastrzemski, if not worse. And the second from long-term listener,
they sure caught
Debbie.
The spirit of the 81 top set with the off-centering, didn't they?
Yeah, I was going to say they couldn't even get it centered on the printed card.
A 1/1 Monty Sheldon painted Chase Utley from Debbie 25LW, huge Chase Utley collector, been following her for a while, and sharing this nice patch card from 2011 Gypsy Queen. Game use memorabilia. It looks like it's part of the Philly logo, maybe. What would you guess?
I think that probably is the corner of the Liberty Bell on there.
Right, that's what I thought. Really cool patch. And like I said, number 1/1 certified original art patch card of Chase Utley from 2010 Gypsy Queen with the 2011 copyright. Interesting. Huh. Note here. Sorry. And Ben had a package to share. Fortunately, with him not here, he'll have to wait until next week or the week after, whenever he's healthy enough to do so. But as always, please feel free to share with us your awesome mail days or polls. Tag About the Cards on Twitter. Hashtag it About the Cards Mail Day. Video, picture, doesn't matter. Shoot it our way. We'll try to we'll do our best to carefully select and choose what to share and display. With that said, moving into the week that was, last week's releases. we had Topps Living week number 192. With 465 Jorge Soler and 466 Shane McClanahan. Waiting for the thing to show the cards with the stuff. So you had a Atlanta with Willie Mays and hiccups real bad, guys. Shane McClanahan for the Devil Rays / Rays. Nice cards. Don't have sales numbers because Topps is Topsing, but that's that. Also releasing last week, OPG Platinum Hockey, Topps Triple Threads, and National Treasures Baseball. Moving on to this week's news. Yes, what's that time? Have Topps Living week 193. 467, you got Tyler Stevenson, and at 468, Tanner Hawk. Stevenson of the Reds, Hawk of the Red Sox. Maddie, go pick up your card. They look like this. Kind of a cool catcher card. It's got his the face mask just above the helmet. Got a huge smile going on. Catcher gear clear. And kind of a smug looking Red Sox, which I mean,
looks like he just got away with something.
I mean, it is Boston, so there you go. It is interesting to see that you have 2021 final stats in the dugout quiz. Who led the 2021 Marlins in RBI? Jesus Aguilar. All-time MLB leader in doubles, Tris Speaker, who actually ended up showing him off at work the other day. Where is the stomp share? I had a Bat King Tris Speaker, of course, from Diamond Kings. With that, kill that. Moving along. Topps Living Star Wars, available through next Tuesday. 257 Queen Jamila from Attack of the Clones, as well as 258 Tiber Saxon Star Wars Rebels. Share the button with the thing. Wait for Topps to say that I'm not a robot. Two kind of cool cards. Tiber Saxon, not exactly a name that I recognize, but I really kind of dig the artwork on the Queen Jamila here. Kind of cool. Nice headpiece.
She was the queen after Amidala, I believe.
Yes, for Naboo.
Yep.
Interesting. Topps Throwback Thursday also came out. Available through tomorrow morning. This is set number 45, which features the 1975 Topps highlights. There's Jorge Soler, Freddie Freeman, which is a short print, and Max Fried. Butcher me on the names, but they look like
Didn't they just have Soler on the Topps Living as well?
Yes, they did.
I guess they got to get those Braves in.
World Series MVP, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. He even mentions it. Unfortunately, because it's Topps, it doesn't mention them actually winning the World Series as part of the actual text here that they could have done. But it does mention that he's the Braves, and it does mention at the very bottom, hey, World Series MVP. So there's that.
That's
Freddie
the
Freeman
out
celebrating.
right there.
Final out, yep. And Max Fried pitching. Kind of dig it. And finally, I forgot to get a link. Kind of threw these together at the last moment. Do you have Topps Stadium Club Chrome? Looking like 130 a box, although Topps did have them earlier today at 99 a box on their website. Sold out pretty quickly. It's a 400 card base set, 1 auto per box, 10 inserts. You're looking at 4 refractors. Nothing all too special. Although, however, unlike last year, they do have different card images than regular Stadium Club's insert line. So, a propose.
The numbers are still the same, though. The checklist is still the same.
Because of course it is. Maybe next year they'll have that fixed. Didn't have too much else. There were a couple other releases I think that Andrew had mentioned that were coming out. Or is that next week that we're talking?
No, those are on the list there.
Okay. They are, sure. Also releasing this week, 2021-2022 Immaculate Collection Collegiate Basketball, 11/16. So yesterday, I suppose. 2021 Panini Flawless Collegiate Football releases today. 2020-2021. Where is that awesome other host? I don't know where he went.
Hey.
You might want to skip back about 10 minutes for no reason whatsoever, Ben. 2020-2021 Panini Illusions Basketball released today. 2021 Panini Classics Football releases tomorrow. And as always, scheduled release dates are subject to change. Current as of this morning, or just before the show in this case. MSRP pricing and product details are gathered from Blowout, as well as a few other locations. Check out Cracknell's articles on Becca.com/news for more details on these new releases. 41.
It appears that you can still get Stadium Club Chrome boxes on Topps' website
For $99?
for $99.
Nice.
At least as of, it seems to be letting me try right now.
Interesting. What's brewing next week's release is the only one that we have to report as of now. 2020-2021 Panini Chronicles Basketball, the hobby release, because I've definitely seen retail. So there's that to look out for those that want to break Chronicles. Why would you want to? Personal thoughts aside. Infield chat or hobby talk section. Big League Baseball has again been pushed back. Anybody really surprised?
No.
Jeff, do you know what Big League Baseball is?
I know
it's not hockey or Magic, but
exactly. I don't know what baseball is. That being said, if hockey's so far delayed, then I'm not too surprised about other sports, to be honest.
That's right.
At this point, it doesn't even seem like it'll be a 2021 product. If they're going to release it in March, if they're going to release it in 2022, at this point, is it now Big League 22?
Yeah, but I mean, even before the pandemic, I think football and basketball from Panini, they were releasing Flawless when the following season had already started. They were already, I mean, we rag on Topps. Panini's been doing this pre-pandemic anyway. Flawless Basketball does not come out for like a month or two into the next season, even before all this COVID pandemic stuff was happening.
Huh. Interesting.
And I just see another right there. You bring it up, and I'm like, okay, there's another Alec Bone card I want to grab. How many dollars is that going to put me behind?
All of the dollars.
None, because it's never going to release.
Yeah, I don't think this stuff's coming out, guys. I really don't.
It doesn't. It'll probably be released alongside the Allen Ginter minis, wood minis. Speaking of quote-unquote cards that should not be made, there are a set of Wall Street trading cards, education and investing all in one. 2021 stock up boxes available now, presumably featuring the individualized stock names, so Diz for Disney or HSY for Hershey. Seems like they have some fun facts on the back as far as what the company does and what innovations they've had and or bought out from others.
What's the code concept on the front?
Well, the box contains 3 packs, 1 redeemable share card guaranteed in every box. Complete the set. 3 packs, 10 cards, 1 share card, 1 real share of common stock. Possibly contains a share of Amazon, Apple, Facebook, Netflix, and more. Would assume that would be your.
Can they do this?
Yeah, they probably can.
How is this okay to just like with the SEC or something? Like I don't know enough about this kind of stuff, but to me it seems like you can't just give away a share like this, can you?
You can give a share away. They probably have a written, like all Wax does now, that there's no guarantee of anything in this box, and so they're selling you the box, and if you happen to get the share, yay. But and they're showing the odds right here. I got an idea though. If you want to learn about the market, how about you take your $125 you're going to spend on this box, put it in a Robinhood account, and try it that way, because you're probably going to wind up with the same amount of money.
Whoa! I did not realize it was that expensive.
Spend $125 on Comp C instead of sports slots, and you'll profit.
It depends what you buy, whether you're looking to flip or collect.
See, I'll never profit because I never sell them.
Well,
you have to be the lowest price.
Or second lowest, or have some sort of plan. Coined as education and investing all in one, that's what Monopoly is for. Cards will have knowledge on the back about the company, which is what we addressed. One free redeemable common stock intended to get you start to build a portfolio. I think it's kind of stupid.
What's the price point? $125?
$129 a box
for 30 cards.
20% off though. 20% off based on the website.
Hey,
with the Black Friday sale,
you're paying more than $4 a card here for this.
Mm-hmm.
$4 a card to learn what about a company?
Yeah, that you could find out for free on Google.
I mean, if people want them, go for it.
Yeah, watch. This will be the $1,000 box of 2022. But that's what I'm seeing here. This is just
it almost seems like a company is trying to cash in on, hey, people like cards again. Let's make our own set that nobody will buy.
Well, in theory, right? The Amazon stock is 1 in 1,000. Amazon stock is trading for like 3,500. So you could do pretty good.
I mean, 1,000 to 1 odds.
Yo, whoa. Okay, listen here, okay? Like a 1-on-1 Zion just never hitting. So just don't open like basketball product if you expect that. But
that was going to be my next question: is that what are these stocks trading at? Because to me, it seems like it's almost incredibly easy to determine if this is a quote good buy or not if you're trying to make money, because at a certain point, based on inflation, or how much these stock values are worth, even if you're getting the 40 to 1, if you buy enough of these, it could make monetary sense. It could.
Like Starbucks is 6 to 1, and it's 112. So you're losing like what, nothing? Because like you said, 20% off.
Right.
So you're making it like a few dollars still, and that's 6 to 1.
Yeah. I mean, if that's like one of the best odds and it's at 6 to 1, I mean, it doesn't seem fun, but it seems less risky than a box of cards.
But you can make it fun entertainment and learn
it's
about
not fun. It wouldn't be fun though.
No, you're not wrong.
I agree. If I wanted fun, I'd buy a $99 box of Stadium Club Chrome.
Right. 4 refractors, 10 inserts,
and 1 autograph.
So next up, I don't know if you guys have seen the controversy regarding this.
What is that?
This is a Project 70 Kirby Puckett 1991 Topps DJ Ski Edition with Kirby Puckett prints and some Minneapolis motifs spread about the card. Fortunately, what had happened was, boop, doop. Dear Tops customer, this is directly from Tops. This email is regarding your order for the Tops Project 7594 1986 Tops Kirby Bucket by DJ Ski Card. Come to our attention that in addition to your 594 card, we've also sent you a numbered 594 chase card as well, an error on our end. Card was not intended to be shipped with your order. Well, you need to have the chase card sent back to our team. Included in this package is a return envelope and prepaid return label. Please return the numbered chase card back to us and we'll apply a $100. Sorry, can't be that too generous. $100 store credit to your Tops.com account as a thank you in return once we receive the correct card. Apologize for the error on our end and thank you for your cooperation in returning the chase card to us. Thank you again, Tops. Now, as a follow-up to this, earlier today I did see that the same person noticed from the artist himself, struggling with Windows here, sorry guys, that he'd posted in some sort of Discord that, hey guys, just catching up here after the Toronto show on the plane back to LA. Here's the situation. It actually wasn't Tops' fault, but their manufacturing distro facility. They sent them the instructions and later verified, and for some reason they were lazy, didn't pay attention, etc., and treated it like a regular chase card and sent it out. It should have never happened, and everyone is pissed, including Tops, and of course me the most. But a second batch of numbered to 91 went out, so there will be 2 of each. I guess it fits for the twins. Super frustrating for everyone who bought or flew out, as we all thought that was going to be the only one. For clarification purposes, what they were planning to do was add a certain Twins game. You could go to certain Twins vendor locations at the stadium and buy the parallel only on site numbered to 91. Moving forward, not much else Tops has said they can do, but to try to get the duplicates back, although that's totally up to you guys. If you want to send them back, they are probably worth more than the credit. They won't cancel anyone's account or anything, so it's up to you guys what you want to do. They will record the serial numbers of what comes back and destroy the rest, but they know they won't get 100% return rate. So while ideally I'd love all of them to go back, that won't happen. So for you guys, you might want to keep, in my opinion. And if they don't call back, it's kind of a pointless. Essentially stating that Tops provided the right instructions to the printer, but the printer screwed up and sent it out. As was, probably because they're on a bit of a crunch because they have 4 of these each and every other day, each day. And they're struggling to produce. And there was only due to happen, in my opinion, that somebody would have made this type of mistake. But I'd love to hear from you guys.
So let me see if I get this right. There was a chase card number to 91 that wasn't as available for sale on Tops.
No.
The only way you could have gotten it is if you went to the baseball game and purchased it.
Yes.
They sent it out to people randomly, it seems like.
Yes.
And in addition to it, they made the duplicate chase cards, which they still sold at the game.
It's like they printed 182 and released what they were supposed to at the game, and then also sent some in other people's packages.
So are the second ones that they produced also numbered to 91? So are there 252 out of 91s?
Yes.
See, to me, Tops. Now it's really getting. See, that's why I had to talk it out because I really got confused there. It's kind of smart on Tops' behalf to do duplicate serial numbers, I would say, because if they had done something different, I want to say the cards that they had sent out erroneously to me would have been even more valuable than the ones that you could have bought at the game, just because now of the story with those cards. So I'm a little bit bummed that they did duplicate them, but I understand why if they did do it because of that. On the flip side, you're going to have people now. There's no way to know if it's the one you bought at the game or the one that was erroneously sent
Right. Like, say, for example, somebody wants the serial number 34 of 91 for some reason. And you see one pop up on eBay. Well, I'm going to presume that it's probably from this online error in that as you had to buy them at the game, I don't think anybody in Minneapolis, presuming it's not people that flew out specifically to get this, I'm going to presume people that are living in Minneapolis aren't going to sell, again, for some reason, card number 34 of 91. It's probably going to stay in their collection.
Yeah. Topps has done this before. 2007 Bowman Draft. The retail had numbered parallels 5, 25, 50, and the hobby had their own. So there were 2 red numbered to 5s. So there were 2 3 of 5s, 2 4 of 5s. So it's Topps is not getting these cards back. They probably would have been better off not saying anything at all. Instead, they've just made themselves look dumb again.
Well, and I think this was brought about in that people were posting saying, hey, look what I got in my package. It's numbered at 91. And people kind of naturally deduced that, hey, weren't these supposed to be at the game? Were these the extras that didn't sell, maybe? And that might have been the better line for Topps to use.
Yeah.
But, even then you'd start seeing people say, well, this one I got from Topps, it's number 55, but this one was also posted on eBay. The user's in Minneapolis, and it's numbered 55. Eventually it would come out.
Yeah. The whole point of the serial numbered cards is to have a record of how many cards of that type there are. The second you start duplicating and you lose the trust that is entailed with those serial cards, now then it becomes, all right, I have a 1-of-1. Is it really a 1-of-1 then anymore? How do I know that there's not another one out there? And to me, that makes me the most nervous about these serial cards. I know we've seen serial numbered errors in the past. I personally have posted a card on eBay, and some other guy says, hey, I literally have the exact same serial numbered card as you. What's going on? And I get it. Things like this happen, but to do it not intentionally, but to have an error and then try to correct it this way, to me, I would think is worse. I'm kind of I'm going to side with Rich here and just say they should have just taken the loss. They should have just either admitted the mistake and moved on, or printed another card that's just slightly different, but still not entirely different. Maybe done a rainbow hollow foil version, also numbered to 91, but is still different. To me, that's probably what should have happened. He could have kept the look of the card, but maybe just done a parallel version of it that still would have been able to get to the baseball game.
Maybe make a silver or gold parallel, hollow foil on the sides.
Yeah, there's parallels all throughout this stuff already, so I don't see why they couldn't do it again. It's only 91. There's only 91.
He's not wrong, Chad.
Cards. How long? I don't know how long it would take them to do that. Yeah, or hand number the ones. Just do something.
They needed to do something that would make somebody want to go out of their way to send this back. Just offering $100 credit on their website's nice, but this card could potentially be twice that on the market if enough people send it back. They needed to do something that you'd feel stupid not working with them on it.
How much? How much was the card if you went to the baseball game?
I think it had some stupid price. I can look it up. After I get this thought out. No, exactly. If they wanted to really do it, because if you go to Topps.com, these are running 20 a week, something to that effect.
At best.
Okay, so you're offering 5 times the price of one, and that's cool. That's nice. How about offer artist signed?
To me, I wouldn't care. It's artist signed.
How about 2 free ones and the reduced cost?
I mean,
got to do something to knock it down. Like make a 5-card set or something. This is an exclusive set that you'll only get if you send this back, and have it like big names in there like Mike Trout and Mickey Mantle or whatever. It's something that you'd feel stupid not taking them up on their offer.
So here we go. Only available at the stadium. Cards will be given out to those who spend $150 in the Twins Club store while supplies last.
See, right there, you guys spend $150 on top of the ticket price to get into the stadium. Why would I, right away, just a 1-for-1, you got to at least offer that amount back.
On top of which, whatever you're playing in the stadium is going to be jacked up on price anyway because you're in the stadium.
Right. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, buy 3 drinks and hey, there's your $150. I joke, but
not by much though.
No.
Yeah, so that's kind of the bigger problem there is that why I spent, if I spent $150 to get the exact same card and you gave it to me for free and you're only offering me $100 back, why would I ever do that?
Show me the money. Speaking of Project 70, though, well, this is awkward. At Topps, at King Saladin Art, you're about to release a card that has my art on it. It's even got my name on it. So, here's the King Saladin Project 70 card. Commerce. It looks like it's 65 Topps. Pennant throwback in the bottom left corner. You got a shot of Mickey wearing the Yankees cap, like a towel draped around his neck. Except that here's the Commerce Comet with literally the exact same, directly pulled off. Background, the title, Pop Fly Pop Shop in the corner, which is also in the corner of the Project 70 card.
Tisk tisk.
So here's my easy solution, and then I'll throw it to you guys. Invalidate the card and have this artist do one. He wasn't announced as an artist for Project 70, but apparently he's on one. Why not give him a chance?
He can take the spot of that one guy who just stopped making the cards.
Isn't this the second time with King Saladin on this?
I know it's like the second time this month that a Topps card has been pulled.
The Ohtani was not King Saladin, I don't think.
I don't think so.
Like, I could see where there's I know some writers that will not read other people's works while they're writing because they don't want to accidentally plagiarize. I think the word, not necessarily, but they don't want to take an idea that another writer had, throw it into their story. I could see where an artist might have seen that, and that could be an honest mistake, but then the whole thing looks like just a spin off of the comic book cover. It looks really bad for Topps.
It really does.
If I were that guy's lawyer, I would not be as polite as this gentleman seems to be.
Well, and that's it. Okay, so, and I think this is something that me and Jeff were talking about. Why would you make it public before they print them? Let Topps print them. Let them get the sales number. And then hit them with a lawsuit.
Well, the gentleman draws for a living. That's probably why he did that.
Well, and then there's that.
I wouldn't have thought to wait.
Well, but by waiting, you have Topps on the rope for the money that they would have paid out.
Yeah, but I mean, you can see the print runs right now. It's not much.
Well, there's that too.
But it's a mantle, so they were going to sell a couple thousand of it, and you come back after the fact. Strategically, you'd wait for them to complete the screw up. if you're looking to sue them.
Right.
So I don't think your damages are just limited to the sales of that card, because the card is now part of the top 70 Project 70 series. So
Sure.
and Mantle's the centerpiece of that series. So you could say, hey, look, this is also helping move the pile for the rest of them. Yeah, you could get something out of this.
Jeff, anything to add to that?
Yeah, I agree. I agree with Philly in that like Topps is clearly doing great things within the hobby, mostly sarcasm. And it's interesting. It's interesting to see these things. Obviously, they've learned from the Otani, or they haven't learned from the Otani. I assume these were manufactured probably way before, so it doesn't really matter. It's current though, but Topps will learn the hard way at some point.
I don't know how Topps is going to search the entire world of art to see if one of their people is ripping things off, but if I'm the general counsel for Topps, I'm telling them they fire King Saladin yesterday, and he doesn't do work for us ever again. That would send a message to the rest of these artists.
Yeah, to be fair to King Saladin, whoever did the Otanis was way more blatant than this one.
Well, I'd fire that. I would have had that guy fired too. So when in doubt, fire and throw them out.
Just for memes, if I was Topps, I'd be like, here's the next 5. Do these belong to any of you?
Right.
And then they're like, okay, nope, no one of them have blown up. Let's manufacture them.
Well, and that's an interesting point. I mean, there's a certain amount that you can reverse Google search or whatnot, but I don't know that a company like Topps is going to sit there all day manually checking that these artists actually did the work versus somebody else, or that they didn't just copy someone else's homework.
I mean, at some point, some of the onus has to be on the artist as well. Like Topps, I agree. Topps holds responsibility for this, but they are not the sole person responsible for this screw up. At some point, these artists, these are professional artists. They should know better. You should know better about this kind of thing in the beginning.
Moving on from Topps, with manufacturer mail failures, Panini and their redemptions. We know about the ongoing lawsuit that Panini is facing over their redemption program, and we previously discussed Mario's article on the topic that I am about to share as soon as it loads. And why you should be very concerned. We're all aware of the legality of redemptions versus the time in which they had to fulfill them versus their existence to even begin with. But is there any real reason why the customer service can't communicate these issues a little bit better? Hey, we're still waiting on the athlete to sign this, or in the instance of this Justin Fields, Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, hey, we have 2 of the 3. We're waiting on the 3rd to sign. I mean, how many times have we seen somebody post a picture or video of their redemption versus some much more brand newer product, 2021 Stadium Club Chrome? Hey, why don't I have my Jose Altuve from 2018 when he signed this in Stadium Club Chrome? I mean, some communication, guys. Is it that hard?
So I have 29 outstanding redemptions with Panini right now. Granted, probably 10 of them are 2013 Select, which I bought after the redemption expired, fully knowing it, and I put it in anyway because I knew they at least do something, and they give you that option. Hey, after 120 days, what do you want to do? And I said, I understand it's 2013, so give me the Panini points. Some of them are like, one of them is a Jose Fernandez rookie auto. if you don't have it, you don't have it. It's not like you're going to get that autograph. I totally understand that. It's been a year now. Why can't you just give me the points? I understand. I literally told you after 120 days, give me the points. It's been 3 cycles of, hey, what do you want to do? It's like, I told you, give me points. That's electronic. Like, I don't that to me, that really bothered me. I understand some athletes don't like to sign. I know Brian Gray talks about this a lot on Twitter about how difficult it is to get some of these millionaires to want to sign these cards. I totally get that. But there are some instances that, to me, it's a little like, what are you guys doing? Get rid of the easy ones first.
Yeah, I agree on that. Brian speaks to this quite often, and it's going to be very interesting. More so, I would say a bloodbath. The sooner or the closer it gets to Topps and Panini losing their licenses, because I'm sure they're okay with that in the sense of, like, as soon as they lose their license, who knows what legal responsibilities they have of fulfilling if they legally can't anymore. So the closer it gets to both of those kind of due dates, it'll be interesting to see what happens. But yeah, redemptions are not pretty. I feel bad for the Panini customer service team because I'm sure, like similar to Andrew, there are an insane amount of Panini redemptions currently outstanding, and there's only a certain amount of years and days, and athletes just not signing at the moment.
And I mean, at what point is an auto from 2014 just a breaking of a contract agreement? I mean, if athlete A says that they're going to sign 500 cards even, at what point is that legally binding? And more so, at least on the customer service side, how much is this Panini's lawyer saying, hey, you guys can't comment on anything redemption to anybody?
I don't think their general counsel is telling them, hey, don't update the customer on the status of a redemption that they intend to fill. As far as redemptions they can't fill, maybe the GC is telling them to shut up. But this is a general practice for Panini that they just don't update on their site what's going on with it.
That's true.
So it's been that way. The last time I had redemptions at Panini, they still had a hockey license, and they stunk then. My understanding is they still stink at this. Historically, I'm going back to when Upper Deck got the exclusive from hockey in the game, still had open redemptions, and Upper Deck wound up honoring them at the end. So I would expect that Fanatics, when they take the licenses, they will probably honor these as well, but I don't think they're required to.
Yeah, it's interesting. I have nothing with Panini, but I did have one redemption with Topps, and as soon as that information from Fanatics came, I pretty much reached out to Topps and says, hey, give me contact information for your legal team. I'd love to speak to them with regards to this one outstanding redemption. And literally, no joke, 2 days later, my redemption is in the mail. No joke. And I was like, okay, cool.
Topps is better about the redemptions. They have fewer redemptions overall, and they seem to get their stuff a lot quicker than Panini, I will say. But to Stefan's point about, hey, these athletes are breaking a contract. I kind of see where the card companies are stuck in a bind because you don't want to sue these athletes or breach of contract, because moving forward, me as an athlete, why would I ever sign a contract with you when you just sued player X? Why would I ever sign a contract with you if you're going to potentially sue me and you're only going to pay me, $20,000, and I'm a rookie making $1 million? To me, as a player, I would never do that. And so these card companies, I feel like they can only do so much, because at the end of the day, they still need these next generation of players to come up and sign. And if if you're known as the company that's going to sue you as a player, I can understand some of the guys who you really want the signatures of will say, no, I'm not going to do it. Or you got to pay me even more money kind of thing.
Well, and I mean, as a rookie, you would think that you're concerned, obviously, with your wallet and checkbook. So you think that would be the hugest incentive? And yeah, sure, okay. It's somebody making million, 5, 10, 15 grand isn't much. However, there's got to be. You would hope that there's something that's enforceable to that, whether they withhold the paycheck until they have the sticker autos in hand or on card, or something else. I don't know, but it's certainly a mess. But so given that, a little bit more of a more sensitive hobby topic about redemptions and autos and whatnots. In light of recent tragic events, if a player is caught arrested or committing certain crimes, or in the case of Kobe Bryant's plane crash and his death, is there really anything that the company can do for these redemptions? I mean, we saw what Panini did in Kobe Bryant's case, but somebody gets arrested or domestic abuse charges. Who's really going to? I would hope. Let me rephrase that nobody would want those. So what's the company on the hook for then?
I think as a card manufacturer, they don't, dependent upon how the contract with the player is written. If they've already paid the player to sign it, then it's a little bit more complicated. But let's say they haven't paid the player.
Sure.
I would hope that there's language in the contract that says, if you do this or if you go to jail, then
sure,
we don't have to pay you and you don't sign. In that instance, then it would be a good optics on the company to offer either a replacement card or Panini points or site credit,
store credit or something. Sure.
Give them the option to do that. I don't feel like they have to, but the optics of not doing that, I feel like would be worse. Kind of like I just said, I have a Jose Fernandez redemption out. I'm fully not expecting to get a Jose Fernandez autograph.
And this being the ex-Marlins pitcher who had the boat crash.
Yes, and he passed away. So
sure,
if they don't have it sitting in their warehouse, it's not coming. I totally get that. I'm not expecting any of that. But just for if they want to give me Panini points, if they don't want to either, that's their prerogative as well, and I completely understand.
Sure.
But I would be totally accepting to either a replacement card or Panini points as well, and would not say one word about it.
Interesting point.
Obviously, they can't fulfill a Kobe Bryant or a Jose Fernandez autograph at this point, so that makes sense. As far as the I'm assuming we're referring to the football player who drove drunk and killed somebody.
And the Ruggs,
yes, the Ruggs, yeah.
Yeah, so that I've already gotten enough arguments about that today. I'm not going to go there, but I think that if they've got the stickers and they're ready they're ready to go and put the sticker graph on it and send it out, that's what they sold you. They sold you an autograph of this piece of garbage. You now have an autograph of a piece of garbage. I'm sorry. That's just how it is. Mm-hmm. If they don't have his autograph, I'm not going out of my way to send one of my lackeys to the prison to get him to sign it, and I'll replace it. But if the cards are already there and ready to go out the door, I don't see where the manufacturer is wrong in just sending it and saying, sorry.
They don't have to, but I mean, it would be great if they didn't. But like you said, they don't have to. They could send you the card that they promised you.
Well, and I think that brings up a good point too. If they have these, like say Bob goes out and does the same thing, causes a car crash, 3 o'clock in the morning, leaving a place, and Panini has them in the mail or in their warehouse, and they have them ready to go. It'd be interesting to see if they reach out and say, "Hey, if you still want this, we have it. It's yours. However, would you like something else? Maybe a proactive approach." Once the person's convicted, of course, because the presumption of innocence. I mean, I know that's not really much of a thing on social media, as much as it probably maybe could be much better preserved. But it'd be interesting to see from the companies. It's a personal thought. Did have another topic relating to some autograph shenanigans. Unfortunately, pictures that we had on hand have been deleted. So I will do some digging, investigative work for next week's show. Next one up, we had Every Day of the Mother seems to be popping up with grading companies, and in this case, one that I thought was particularly interesting: Southern Values card grading. Now, willing to bet everyone here can guess their opinions, thoughts on any topic. But I mean, as they were, it just seems like everybody who can find a plastic machine is just coming out with card grades. I'm not saying PSA and Beckett don't deserve some competition, but do we need 10,000 graders?
We don't need these guys. They're selling their own graded cards right on their website.
They are. Yes.
I'm looking right at it, on top of which they printed yellow on black, red, white, and blue, so it's hard as hell to read. The subgrades are hard as hell to read, and please keep politics off my baseball cards, please.
Where do you guys find these plastic machines? I'd want one just to seal my cards, man. Where does anyone find these things?
I could have one shipped to you from China. You'll have it in 45 days.
It'll sit on the boat outside my port for 45 days down here in Southern California.
Okay, so you'll have it in 90 days then.
Okay.
But it for like $5,900, you can get the exact equipment that these guys are using. You can buy these exact slabs for 60 cents. The only thing original here is the label, and they basically took one of the stickers that my mom used to get when she subscribed to the Reader's Digest and printed on it. And I lean slightly right of center, and this bothers me. This is just gross. No, hard pass.
Like you said, the biggest problem is you can't read that.
My biggest problem is they're selling their own stuff. This would be like if Jesse Pinkman smoked meth.
Two interesting offers. Any Pat Tillman card is free of charge. As well, cost to grade is $30. However, you donate $3 to St. Jude's Children's Hospital, the cost drops down to $25, so it saves you $2. Kind of interesting.
These ones don't even look graded in that picture.
They only have to sell 300 of these grades to get their money back from their Sonic welder.
And do they get that?
And I'm assuming they didn't pay their web designer that much.
No.
They probably designer sports law.
Probably fired up front page editor from 2000.
No, but this company would be dead in 2 years. Just like so many, like you said, there's just so many graders right now, and half of them won't be able to survive 2 years.
They're not offering any really compelling reason why. There's going to be 2 tiers of grading. There's going to be PSA, Beckett, and maybe SGC. And then there's going to be a second tier for newer cards that don't cost as much. And they're not giving you a compelling buying proposition as to why they should be the one. They're not. I don't
Sure.
see anything like if I have to dig to find out why they're better than everybody else. When you're advertising something on your website, you want to advertise why you're awesome and they're not, or why you're awesome. These guys, I really don't like getting ticked off about cards, believe it or not. But I'm looking at this website and I can't read what's on this website.
Right. It's pretty hard. Black on white, guys. It's not hard. Or if you want to go like a dark blue and a white, for those that prefer dark mode,
or white on black, but not yellow on red, white, and blue.
I mean, even
super
bright green on black. If you want to go like an '80s DOS console, it would almost be better than that.
I could go for that.
If PSA though brings back their 2020 pricing, so many grading companies die within like months, so it really doesn't matter.
Next up, this was one more for Ben, and that he loves the name of the company, himself being a cigar smoker. Anyone who knows a kid or parents that may be having a tough time with gifts this holiday season and like to give this display with cards, or mom, dad, uncle, brother that needs a little joy this season, let me know by DM and I'll try to give as much cards, displays, art as I can. Interesting advertisement, if that's what their intent is. Some decent artwork, though. I've got to say, I really kind of dig the idea of having the front of a photo on the back of an '89 Topps, or just some of these other photos, and even more so, the players that are represented. So you've got like Acuna, you have George Brett, you have Jackie Robinson, you have Roy Campy, Henry Aaron, not Hank, Satchel Paige, as well as several other players. A good slew of Negro Leagues players. I think that's Mickey Mantle. It's kind of smaller in the frame.
Lower right hand corner looks like Cool Papa Bell.
That's what I was thinking. Yes.
That Roy Campanella upper right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Really cool artwork. This was tweeted to Ben. Seems like an amazing gift. Cool idea. Montgomery Club dropped today, or yesterday. First year in 2018, we believe it was $199.99. 2019, they raised it to $250 for new club members. Renewals were the same. Last year, the new club members $299, and I believe this year was $350.
Which now 400.
400
new club members.
Yes,
600 was what I saw.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah, I heard that. Yeah,
$100. I know they give you a certain amount of access to new sets as well as opportunities to buy out certain limited products. But speaking of smoking some of the rocks, there's no way they can justify that unless they're giving you double what they've previously given. I mean, is it a success? Is it a success for Topps? Maybe.
Well, I would say if they sell out, why not, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
They can justify it if people are paying it.
Yeah.
Stop. Don't do it. No, don't. Please come back. Referring to the scene from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, of course. There. Propstein, why shouldn't be surprised from Dimers Caleb on the social media. Caleb paid $187.50 for a 2021 National Treasures Jason Tatum patch number to 10. Price point matters because the card arrived without a top loader. Card also has an indentation as shown on the video, which I'll show here in a second. Apparently having written either on top of the card or with like a note to say that, hey, it's from this. I go to this and then this. We can share this as well with the audio. Just reset this here. Pause.
Let me see if I can get this on camera. It looks like they wrote on a top loader.
Right there.
I mean, on a envelope or piece of paper on it. Because there's also number 4 over here. Huh.
Guys, it's not hard to, at the bare minimum, include a card in a top loader. I get supply chain issues, but there are other ways to secure a card too. And you don't write on top of something that someone paid $5 for, let alone nearly $200.
Yeah, for $200, they can find a top loader.
I mean, even $50.
Yeah.
I don't want to advertise this, but I've bought from Probe Steam before, and it's all arrived in top loaders, and I definitely didn't pay $187.50 for it. So I don't know why he didn't get one.
Probably an honest mistake.
From Probstein?
Yeah, because it's him, no.
A shipping mistake, though? Like, I wouldn't put having his stuff being shilled to the ceiling past him, but shipping mistake, what's the benefit of shipping like that? How does it help them?
That's fair. I mean,
it really doesn't.
Yeah. And to an extent, Probstein and these other outfits, PWCC, how are they really supposed to stop their consigners from show bidding? That's the one issue I've had with, like, I've thought of consigning some stuff through them, but then, I mean, I'm not going to shill my own stuff, but how do you control that?
I think the issue with PWCC is not that they weren't controlling it. I thought the issue was they caught them actively, like, telling them what to do was the issue with PWCC. I don't think we have the full story on it, but I think that was more the issue with them, is they actually caught someone from PWCC telling someone about that.
I believe that's the allegation as well. They were texting someone saying, hey, we think this should be going higher. Go ahead and bid. I guarantee you that it will be outbid. And that certainly crosses the line, I think.
Oh.
But reached the end of our major show notes. We do have some evergreen topics, but I believe we've covered them in a previous week. Did want to throw this one to you guys, though, and that we're all hockey people. Who wins the Stanley Cup this year? Who wins the Eastern Western Conference? And go.
Philly can go first.
Okay, out of the West, I probably don't watch enough Western Conference hockey to make a good guess, but I'm gonna guess anyway. I'm gonna say Edmonton out of the West. I think Toronto comes out of the East, and Toronto wins the Stanley Cup.
You're going all Canadian?
Yeah.
Talking about meth. Well, go ahead, Andrew.
So my head tells me I still think Colorado's got the team to do it from the West, and I'm going to be the opposite of you. I don't really watch enough Eastern Conference hockey to have a good feel for them, especially this early in the season. So I think I couldn't even give you an answer, but I personally don't see how Colorado doesn't win it this year, barring injuries.
So yeah, I kind of agree in that. I was going to say Colorado until you stole my pick, because I think they're obviously very talented. I give them another few months to kind of gauge where they're at, and they might make a play before a trade deadline. That being said, Vegas could be very scary with Eichel. Obviously, they could do the whole like Tampa Bay thing last year and have him show up in the playoffs and even go after another piece prior to the trade deadline for the Western Conference. So it's either Colorado, Vegas. And then in the East, I think Carolina might go for it as well. Florida is doing great, obviously, but Carolina has such a stacked team. They have obviously playoff experience. And I think the trade deadline this year is going to be very active because of the players available for the draft. So you will see teams kind of bottoming out earlier than usual. And even next year for Bedard, some teams might just give up in like the next few years rather than like committing. So I wouldn't be surprised if but like you said, Western Conference, whoever wins out of there should win the cup. But I would say Carolina would be my Eastern pick.
That's interesting. See, I was going to say, if you said the Penguins, I was about to boot you.
Hey, relax, buddy. First off, Crosby's played 2 games. Malkin's played no games.
We have these arguments daily. He seems to think that the Penguins are God's gift to hockey.
No, I'm a fan. I'm not saying God's gift, but I just can't stand you reiterating how bad
only
Minnesota
Vegas
is.
fans think they're God's gift to hockey.
Well, obviously.
Yeah. I think watch the trade deadline, like you said. I know the Sharks are going to be sellers. Tomas Hertl's probably going to get traded at the deadline, and I think whatever team picks him up has a good chance to make a deep run if they're close.
Yeah, I think there's so many larger trades. Like obviously trade deadline's active, but there's no way Montreal can keep as is. There's no way Islanders can keep as is. There's no way Pittsburgh. Like obviously Malkin, Letang, and Crosby are coming up. No, who is it? Malkin, Letang. Like there's big pieces. Just get rid of them now. But there's so many good teams that are like bottoming out right now who'd probably be okay with like getting a high pick, and they'll trade away like 1 and 2 big pieces.
As gross as it seems coming out of my mouth, I think that the Penguins management wants to try to take one more run with the core they have together. So I could see them being buyers and being a problem for somebody in the Eastern Conference. As ill as that makes me think, but like if you've got Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin, who are 2 of the top 5 players in their generation on the team, and they're still playing pretty well when they're on the ice, why don't you go out, get a little goaltending help, and get one more scorer and go for it?
Yeah, I was going to say there's no way we're even competing with Tristan Jarry. That being said, my prediction is we go after Marc-Andre Fleury from Chicago.
And I mean, it's not like new ownership can affect that as well. With the rumored potential sale of the
that
Penguins,
was confirmed, right?
According to the Wall Street Journal.
Yeah, that was confirmed.
Gretzky coming back. Actually, he's on the pre- and post-game show for Disney, providing insight.
Wayne Gretzky's 61. He's not coming back to play. Sorry.
Probably not.
He could still do it, though, if he wanted to.
What about the Super Bowl?
Oh, jeez.
Oh, jeez.
The Super Bowl's football always comes down to who's healthy and who's not. So you always take that with a grain of salt. Sure. Assuming literally everybody is healthy, it's gonna be. I think Buffalo. I think this is Buffalo's time to make it to the Super Bowl. I know they've laid some stinkers. I don't know why.
That's much like the Vikings. They're cursed.
I don't know. I mean they play. Their biggest problem is they play down to some of these opponents, and in the playoffs you're not really playing down because they're all relatively stronger teams. So I think they'll have that going for them. So I think Buffalo, and then in the NFC, I want to say the Rams, but I'm not sold on them. It's just tough to bet against Aaron Rodgers in Lambeau Field in the wintertime.
Okay, so the same thing I told Jeffrey. There will be no praising of Green Bay here.
I didn't say I wanted them to win. That's just what my head is telling me.
That's fair.
Yeah, I would say Arizona in the NFC. I just think like dual threat quarterbacks are becoming a thing. I know that they got pounded last week, but if you disregard that, who knows?
They didn't have their dual threat quarterback last week, though.
Okay, then I feel better about my pick, even better. And then a sleeper pick in the AFC, I'll go with Mac Jones and the Patriots. And whoever says Tennessee Titans, jump a cliff.
What you got against Tennessee?
I don't know how they keep winning, but they're doing it. Props to them.
I'd rather watch cricket than watch that team. It is so boring. Like, come to the CFL. It is that boring.
Damn.
And there's no way they can keep winning with Henry gone. There's no way.
So how about Patriots Bucks? Brady winning one more.
I don't see it happening. It would be good TV though.
That's fair. James, any thought?
I haven't watched a snap of football since the Eagles beat the Bears with the field goal miss or whatever. So my guess would just be worthless.
That's fair.
I like the Titans helmets for what that's worth.
Sure.
What's your next question, Stefan?
To that, I guess did want to wrap up to say I felt that way about Brady. Could never bet him out. All but two games, Denver and Seattle, been decided by a touchdown or less. 3 overtime games. Minnesota beats teams they shouldn't, but also loses teams they shouldn't. Are we talking about the Wild or are we talking about the Vikings? Because yes, as well as the Twins.
Hey, you guys should have lost to the Sharks yesterday.
Should we? Jeff should have. Should we have? Okay, that's what I thought. Any which way. Final thoughts, anyone?
Get some rest, Ben.
Indeed. For the Vikings was clarified. No, absolutely. Ben, phone number's on. We've been in conversation. Hope you feel better, bud. Hopefully it's nothing more serious. Hopefully these issues are behind you. Get some sleep, drink some juice, put away all of the stressors, delete social media if you have to. But we hope to have you back soon, of course. Better, maybe brighter than ever.
And check your mailbox because I sent something to you last week, so it should be getting there soon.
Yeah, check your mailbox. Apparently,
but not your Twitter inbox.
No.
Yes.
Get better. Turn off social media. Relax. Get better.
Indeed. Remember that we're live every Wednesday, 10 p.m. Central,
8 p.m. Western, Pacific. There you go. Yeah,
there you go.
That too.
6 p.m. Hawaii time.
Live on YouTube. Please make sure to subscribe, review on all platforms. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram at About the Cards. Follow Ben at Our Trading Cards and send us some extra love this week. I know, controversial figure, but I still don't like to see someone go through that. You can follow me at Junkwax Twins. Follow James at Philly Puckpen. Don't follow Jeff, and check out Andrew at Bayside Breaks. Anything coming up?
Just some baseball update, NT and archives this week.
Nice.
Yeah, some fun stuff.
Please share your hobby pulls, stories. Send us your questions and keep collecting. Hope y'all have a great week, and we'll see you for episode 178 soon.